telling me that we're not in the playoff and we're not allowed to choose which school for the blind we're playing in the bowl game?
Yeah, that's what they told Elmo.
Yeah, we're not playing. No way. Unfair. Clear biases against teams that aren't in conferences.
Elmo thinks you should just join a conference.
Yeah, you'd like that, Elmo, wouldn't you?
Yes, Elmo does think that most people would like that.
Yeah, that would just work out for everybody, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you're speaking sarcastically, but you're proving Elmo's point.
Up yours, Elmo.
I'm just so flippin' happy we play the game for brotherhood and Jesus, and Chili's is bringing back the skin of queso today. Suck these nuts, Buckeyes.
Yeah, first of all, I would like to thank the SEC for giving us a home game in every SEC championship. And second of all, I would like to thank our hideous quarterback. He literally looks like a bulldog, which is way better than our last quarterback. He looked like a sloth. Third of all, I would like to warn the city of Atlanta pedestrians to get off the road because them Georgia Bulldogs are coming tonight.
We've talked about this before, but let me just nail this point home as well. Notre Dame has a borderline cheating setup with not playing in a conference. The conference alignment that they have is with the ACC, one of the weakest conferences in all of college football. So they play ACC teams as if they're in the ACC, which even if they were in the ACC, that's not like a resume booster. That's a terrible conference. But they're not even in the ACC, so they don't have to play a championship game. They play less games, and that last game, by the way, the championship, the conference championship game, is against what would be the other best team in that conference. So if there is a tough game to be played via your conference, even if you have a weaker conference, it would come during that game. So they're playing less games, and they're avoiding possibly the best team that they'll play all year, or a rematch with a team maybe that they played earlier in the season that was the best team that they played all year. So just the way that they have it set up there is made, especially in a playoff system. Are you kidding me? It is made for them to get in every single year. They're basically already in, and as soon as it became a playoff system, it was already like that. They got favoritism in the BCS as well because of the same thing. Welcome in and welcome back to Hybrid Studios and to the Coliseum. My name is Logan Hyder. I appreciate you for being here with me today. We're going to have a ton of fun today. We have so many stories to get to. It's actually insane. I've added a full big story last night. And into this morning, really this morning, with the Sherrone Moore story here at Michigan that we're going to talk about. But with that being said, super quick housekeeping notes. If you are not subscribed, which the majority of you probably are not, statistically speaking, please do so or consider doing so at least, especially if it is your first time. If you're a returning viewer of the channel, please hit subscribe. If you're going to be watching the videos, you might as well know when they come out, and you might as well show the channel some love. It really does help more than you could possibly imagine. Now, with that out of the way, we have a ton, like I said, of stories to look at today. So many, in fact, I'm not even sure if we'll be able to get to all of it, but I'm going to get to as much as I possibly can in today's video. And we're going to kind of warm up and get the blood flowing as is usually needed. Today is no exception with this post that I saw, where we're going to test a little bit of ball knowledge, a little ball history with some legendary college football teams that are like fever dreams and existed for short periods of time, most of them. I haven't actually looked at this entire list myself. I did just see that Tennessee was on it, and so I wanted to kind of warm up and get the blood flowing, like I said. But the big ones for today are going to be Sherrone Moore being fired from Michigan for cause, what that cause was, what Michigan's going to do kind of from here. That literally broke in the last like 12 hours, and I added that to what we were going to talk about today at the last minute. So we're going to start with that as far as the big stories. Then we're going to move into one of the most interesting on-the-field stories that we've seen in literally years and years and years when it comes to Indiana beating Ohio State. The ripple effect of which will lead us into the college football playoff. Notre Dame's, let's say, not ideal reaction to being left out of that. We're going to go into the Heisman finalists for this year, and as always, wrap up with a handful of just other interesting stories that we're not going to do a deep dive on. So yeah, like I said, absolutely ridiculous amount of stuff to cover today. And let's just get right into it because we spent enough time going over it. Just kind of wanted to give you an outline. I'll never forget number one, Mississippi State. In case you can't tell, which honestly, even as I was looking at it and I knew it to be the case, that's Dak Prescott. That is Dak Prescott. Yep. Number one, Mississippi State, led by Dak Prescott. I do remember that. Dak Prescott, fun fact, was in Panama City at the same time as me, and I found out afterwards that he got jumped on the beach. I swear to God. Look it up. Number one, Tennessee. Yep. So here's the one. Number one, Tennessee, 8-0. Even the Vol report over here, we got absolutely smoked in Athens. Tennessee might have been the worst number one of all time. Yeah, I mean, maybe not, but like I said in the last episode about Josh Heupel needing to send two people a check, Nico Iamaleava for giving him, for some reason, a mulligan on this year when it comes to the Tennessee fan base, blaming him for basically anything that's transpired. The other person that I said needed to get a check was Hendon Hooker. And this pretty much sums that up as well, doesn't it? Got all the way to number 1. Thank you, Hendon. That was an absolutely incredible season that ended tragically, but not surprisingly at the hands of an unranked team who put 70 on us. Quarterbacked by Spencer Rattler, by the way. And Hendon Hooker tore his ACL that day. So I will never forget number 1 Tennessee either. And I also won't forget how it ended. I'll never forget number 4 Cincinnati in the college football playoff. That is Sauce Gardner, I believe. They had somebody else on the team that was really good that year. Let's see, undefeated UCF. If you didn't, it's not funny, but I'm just imagining people that are like, what? Okay, come on, guys, I'm filming. I can't even remember, now I can't remember his name. That distracted me. Don't look at this. Don't look at this search. You see it? Oh, shit. I don't have a choice. Okay, here we go. Shaquem Griffin, yes, and then he had a brother, Shaquille, who played for the Seahawks as well, I believe, who was pretty decent. But Shaquem Griffin, yeah, that was insane. Undefeated UCF. They literally hung a banner like they won the national championship that year. No bullshit. I'll never forget Gardner Minshew at number 8 Wazoo. I literally already have. I don't remember that at all. I'll never forget number 2 Iowa. What? I'll never forget number 1 Auburn. Now that's a good one. We've talked about Cam Newton before. I think that's probably the second best season that I've ever actually witnessed as far as an individual performance. I mean, that team had nobody on it. Unlike the LSU team that I give Joe Burrow credit for having the best college football season ever, in retrospect, it might have been this Cam team just because he had nobody around him at all. I'll never forget Michigan State in the college football playoff. I do remember this. 38-0. This is back when Alabama would regularly embarrass teams that were very highly ranked or supposed to be competitive, blah, blah, blah. I'll never forget number 5, Louisville, Lamar Jackson. I will also agree with that one. That is one of the first takes, like officially, that I ever had doing YouTube. This was on my first channel. I kind of want to revisit that, but it was the class of 18, I believe, with Baker and Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson and all them. Lamar obviously goes 32nd overall, so the NFL had him ranked there, if you want to put it that way. And on most lists, it was Sam Darnold, Josh Rosen. A lot of them had Josh Rosen and Sam Darnold there at the top, but I had Baker and then Lamar. I was a little bit off on my Josh Allen take on that one. Not totally, though. My take was that he was super inaccurate in college and that he would be a turnover machine in the NFL, and he has been a turnover machine, and he's the first quarterback to ever fix the kind of accuracy issues that he had in college. But my point being is, got on a little bit of a tangent there. Lamar Jackson in college was absolutely ridiculous. And there was a famous video. Let me see if I can pull this up. This is what I need to start doing on here. Whenever I think about this stuff, just pull it up. It's not like I can't just show y'all. Lamar Jackson High School. I actually did not figure out until like years and years later that this was Lamar Jackson. I remembered this completely separately of Lamar Jackson, or of watching Lamar Jackson, or of football at all. I just remember seeing this clip. Lamar, he rolls out to the right there, points at the dude, then and then just walks across the thing. Oh my! Oh, that is ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous. So anyways, Lamar Jackson. Damn, what a hell of a tangent there. Never forget 13-0 WMU, Western Michigan. I didn't even know who they were talking about in the comments when they said WMU, Western Michigan. I, again, definitely forgot that one. I'll never forget number 8, Minnesota, in the college football playoff rankings. Yeah, that was the row the boat, keep rowing, something like that. Yeah, let's see. Minnesota boats. Row the boat. Yep, see? That was close. All right, anyways. I'll never forget number 12, Coastal Carolina. Already did as well on that one. Good for them, though. I'll never forget Tulane beating USC in the Cotton Bowl. Yeah, it's not been great for USC since the early 2000s. Okay, are we warmed up? Are we good to go? All right, let's go to the big story of today. What the fuck is happening with Sherrone Moore? Yeah, we're going to have some fun today. The Sherrone Moore scandal explained. Sherrone Moore married with 3 kids. My wife asked me that this morning. She said, was he married? I said, I don't know, to be real. And honestly, like, they keep saying it's a staff member. And I would like to know who they're talking about. Like, they don't even have to expose them, but like the way they were saying it, like this, getting a staffer pregnant. Okay, I just wanted to make sure, like, not that it would matter, but you know what I'm saying. Married with 3 kids, got exposed for cheating and getting a staffer pregnant 2 weeks before Christmas. That's bad enough. But now add the ripple effects. Fired as Michigan Tech coach and fumbling $13 million. How often have we talked about fucking buyouts on this channel already? A ton. This man, by the way, a buyout of $13 million is like nothing. It's like nothing. Not that he would have got fired regardless, but they did not care at all, probably, to pay that even if they wanted to. He was already suspended, by the way, for some games based on some recruiting violations that happened when Harbaugh was there. And he's one of Harbaugh's guys. Michigan has a reputation for hiring their own guys, Michigan men, as they call them, to be the head coach. And so that's going to kind of get tested here. With this next hire. But the point being is that Sherrone Moore is kind of a leftover from a different era that is not exactly looked upon fondly currently, which is kind of weird because they won a national championship, but there's been a lot of negative that has happened since then. Sign stealing scandal, Harbaugh leaving, the show cause penalties for the recruiting violations, and now you got Harbaugh's guy that replaced him with this. Michigan's fired Sherrone Moore for having a relationship with a member of their staff. Moore is married and has kids. Oh, damn, they straight up just put her on there. Huh? Yikes. Okay, well, fuck. I guess I just did too. Wait, what? Okay. I am bullshitting. Let me just actually read this real quick. Okay, I'm just gonna go through the post because I just saw the top of that. All right, let's be let's be serious. What the fuck is happening with Sherrone Moore? Stop. Sherrone Moore, married with 3 kids, just got exposed for cheating and getting a staffer pregnant 2 weeks before Christmas. That's bad enough, but now add the ripple effects. Fired as Michigan Tech coach and fumbling $13 million. Michigan has fired Sherrone Moore after having a relationship with a member of their staff. Moore is married and has kids, by the way. During an argument with his wife, Moore allegedly threatened to kill himself. He then drove and broke into the home of his assistant. He then drove and broke into the home. Is this for real? He then drove and broke into the home of his assistant where he held a knife to his own throat and threatened to kill both himself and the staffer. Like the staffer that he got pregnant? What the fuck? He was then intercepted at a local church after his wife provided his phone's location to the authorities. He is now in protective custody. Okay. The Sherrone Moore story gets even crazier. Moore gave the girl he was cheating on his wife with a 55% increase in pay out of nowhere. He wasn't even trying to hide what was going on. A beautiful wife, multiple kids, and millions of dollars all thrown away. What the fuck? First of all, how did they get this? But damn, her salary went from 58,000. She was an administrative specialist, which is just like the most general title ever. 58 grand. It's almost like I mean, it's got to be probably like a just out of school job, right? Like entry level, 58,000 to 90,000. Even, by the way, 58,025 sounds like a very a number that like a real salary. 90,000 is like just a clean, even number. That is just unbelievable. Okay. Is there more? Michigan reportedly knew about... Oh, what the fuck? I'm so glad that I waited an extra day to do this video, for real. Michigan reportedly knew about Sherrone Moore's situation for a while and intentionally waited until after signing day to take action. Bro, that's dirty. Insiders have been allegedly expecting the job to come open for weeks now, and Michigan has likely already engaged potential candidates per Josh Pate. Wow. Michigan knew they were going to have to fire him. He knew he was going to be fired, which maybe explains the whole thing before, threatening self-harm. Insiders, and because he knew it was going to come out and he's going to lose his job and all the other stuff, it was going to happen eventually. Wow. Temptation. A story as old as time. No. Friend whose dad is a donor said Sherrone is currently going crazy. Apparently, Sherrone is in protective custody, threatening to kill himself to his wife, left his house, went to Stafford, knows not just to throw them in intercepted. So basically the same exact story through a text. Bro tweeted this 9 days ago. How did he know? Sherrone cheater Moore got a Stafford pregnant and is soon to be fired. Cook said it first. Who the fuck is that guy? Who the fuck is that guy? How the hell did he know that? Okay. Wow. Incredible. Jesus Christ. I had, as usual, not seen that. I just saved it to make the video with. That is crazy. The other part about this that is, it's hard to just transition from that first bit. Wow. As far as the players go, Bryce Underwood and the entire Michigan roster now has a 15-day window to transfer, which is another really cool part of this system that we have right now. Once Michigan hires a new head coach, the current players on the team will have an opportunity to leave for another program through the portal. Sherrone Moore's firing could shake up this team in a big way. As they said here, a name to keep in mind is Bryce Underwood, obviously, as well as the incoming recruiting class. Bryce Underwood, though, just to point out for just a second, as I said, the system not exactly working in pretty much any way that it possibly could. Underwood, 18, signed a lucrative 4-year, $12.5 million NIL deal with Michigan last December, making him one of the highest paid college football freshmen. Again, dyslexia, making him one of college football's highest paid freshmen. Michigan went 9-3 and is ranked number 19 entering the bowl season. The fact that they went 9-3 is fucking crazy. Underwood was 179 for 293 passing, 61.1% on the completion percentage, 2,229 passing yards, 9 passing touchdowns, 6 interceptions, which the passing yards is not bad, but the 9-6 touchdown to interception ratio is not great. 4.4 yards per carry isn't horrible for sure. 74 carries for 323, 5 rushing touchdowns as well. So you could add that in if you want to, which I typically do. What the hell was that? Hold on a second. I was looking at the stats. What is this? Rolling out to his left. And it's a good throw. Oh, it's another one. Let's see. Wait, hold on. I'm gonna have to go back now. Were these bad plays they were showing, or was that just? No, that's what I thought. Like, these are highlights, right? and then randomly we got a pretty good throw, I guess, on 3rd and 10, followed by a fucking a throw into double coverage for a pick. What is this one gonna be? Is this gonna be good or bad? Good or bad? Here we go. Yeah, it was a good toss. What do you have? What, did they just? I mean, buddies, what are we doing with that one? But just to be clear, we just randomly had this pick in here. That's pretty funny. Anyways, the point being is that the kid's making fucking $12.5 million over 4 years. Him and Nico are literally, and Carson Beck, we talked about his deal before, but him and Nico are a couple of the guys that will be the face of this era of NIL because of the deals that they got before. By the way, have I mentioned, which I don't think that I have, I know that I talked about it in the last video about how Carson, as usual, this is how frazzled I get and how quickly I get there when it comes to talking about Josh Heupel and them. But as I said before, you know, Josh Heupel is absolutely to be blamed in some respect, given the fact that he's the head coach for the Nico situation. The kid made $8 million to come to Tennessee. Like, not only did he make $8 million, but Tennessee had to fight like hell in court for that kid to be even eligible to join our program early after paying him that. So yeah, almost like you could have seen that coming, almost like his priorities weren't exactly on straight. Yeah, but anyway, and I'm not really sure what Michigan is going to do about Sherrone Moore in the long term. That part about the recruiting class I did not know, but because that's pretty fucked up. But the point being is that they've already got their recruiting class, I guess, sold. Now, again, they're going to be able to transfer, I guess. So if I'm them, I'm getting the fuck out of there, having figured out that they knowingly tricked you into coming to this school. And, you know, put you in a position now, by the way, because you're going to have to transfer to schools with full roster. I mean, that is incredibly fucked if that's true. But so I don't really know what they're going to do there. Some people are talking about Kalen DeBoer. And I actually heard this morning. Kalen DeBoer to Michigan, maybe, which I don't know why the fuck he would do that. There was like Washington's head coach, and Jeff Brom was another one, and there was like one other guy too. But I also heard as part of the Kalen DeBoer thing that Kalen DeBoer would go to Michigan, and then Lane Kiffin would leave LSU before he's even started at LSU and take the Alabama job. And basically everybody would just pay everybody's fucking buyouts and not even care. What the fuck? What are we talking about? Anyways, for once, like ever, Ohio State and Michigan fans probably are not having a good time at the same time. Now, definitely different levels, no doubt. But Ohio State took a brutal loss last week, and that is going to be the next subject that we're going to cover here. Indiana took down Ohio State, and the big scheme of things, it's not really that big a deal. This is something that we've came back to a million times, but the format in college football is ridiculous. Indiana beat them in the Big Ten Championship, which is a big deal because it's their first Big Ten Championship in like 100 years or something, for sure, and it's a giant win for them in the big scheme of the college football playoff bracket, which we're going to get to in just a minute. I don't know if it wasn't probably the worst thing for college football, because this is exactly what happened with Ohio State last year. They lost to Michigan there at the end of the season, and they just got super, super hot after that and just destroyed everybody. So you almost wouldn't want them coming in with that same mentality again. So we'll see. But absolutely incredible win for Indiana. An incredible thing that we're even saying this, which is what we're about to get to. More than incredible. It's hard to put into words. Let's read this post from iDaily Athlete. Let's give him a little follow real quick too while we're at it. As you should subscribe to this channel if you're watching. But this might be the wildest number 1 versus number 2 matchup we've ever seen. On paper, these rosters shouldn't even be in the same conversation. Ohio State walks in with 67 blue chip players to Indiana's 7 blue chip players. Indiana walks in with 0 5-star recruits to Ohio State's 11. When you break it down position by position, the talent gap gets even larger. Jeremiah Smith was the number 1 overall recruit in America. Elijah Sarrett, which I guess is the number 1 receiver for Indiana, was not even ranked. Julian Sayin was a 5-star. Fernando Mendoza was a 2-star. Number 2,149 overall. Julian Sayin was a 5-star, the number 6 overall. But I even talked about him in a video before, Julian Sayin, about how he was supposed to be really, really, really good this year. He's a Heisman finalist, so you would say that he is pretty good, obviously. But I don't put a whole lot of stock into Ohio State individual performers overall, especially at the quarterback position, just because they historically have not been very good in the NFL. And they also are throwing to, again, absolute NFL players on every level. You know, I'm really starting to think about that Joe Burrow, because even for the talent around him, he still was like exceedingly incredible. Even for that, you know, anybody could have probably thrown 40 touchdowns, but 60 is great. Anyways, whatever. We'll have to return to that at some point in the future. But like I said, Indiana takes down Ohio State. I don't think people realize what they just watched. Something historic, just wild, is Indiana. Most losses in FBS history, and they just won the Big Ten. They won the Big Ten. This is already the best season in Indiana history, no doubt. No doubt.
The Big Ten champs, how does that sound?
It sounds so beautiful. I want to give all the glory to God. We were never supposed to be in this position, but by the glory of God, the great coaches, great teammates, everyone we have around us, we were able to pull this off. Whoever thought the Hoosiers would be here, but now the Hoosiers are flipping champs. Let's go.
You guys call yourself a bunch of...
This man said... Oh my God. We are flipping champs, dog. Listen, I'm going to go over this. I'm going to find this in a second because oh no. I'm going to find this in a second. But the first thing I said to Mark, I said, there is something about that kid. When I watched this, I did see this before. Actually saw it live. And I was like, what is it about him that like feels so familiar? And before this clip was over, before he finished speaking here, I went, oh my God, he's Kirk fucking Cousins.
God, the great coaches, great teammates, everyone we have around us, we were able to pull this off. Whoever thought the Hoosiers would be here, but now the Hoosiers are flipping champs. Let's go.
You guys call yourself a bunch of misfits who found the right home at Indiana. Why was this the right place for this group?
It's the right place. We're process-oriented. We're going day by day. Whether it's the offensive line, the defense, the coaches, special teams, we're all process-oriented to one goal. That's our thing, is we're brothers. We can drag teams into the deep end because we know that we're going to stick together and we're the strongest glue ever.
Tell me about finding Charlie Becker. 3rd down, 2 minutes to go. We talk about Heisman moments, but take me through that one. So congratulations, Indiana.
And what an incredible, Charlie's been every single day in summer. We were always throwing before practice, before at 7 a.m. on Sundays, doing spots, doing routes, and now you see it to come to fruition. He's my roommate, couldn't be happy for such a young man as well as our defense playing lights out. And well, everybody just, what an incredible moment.
Congratulations, enjoy it.
Thank you so much. God bless, go Hoosiers.
I love that kid. I fucking love that kid. Oh my God, bless go Hoosiers. We're flipping champs. That's insane. That is insane. Indiana, historically basketball school, by the way. Like, it's actually, like, in all seriousness, I'm going to talk about Mendoza in just a second. I was ready to talk about Cignetti next. So that's what we're going to go to. But we're going to come right back to Mendoza, and we're going to talk about it again during the Heisman part of this video. But wow, what a personality. And boy, that kid will look like Kirk Cousins. Look, watch. Tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. Was it? Brother, come on. No, come on. You're telling me this dude don't look like a young Kirk Cousins? Look at this. Look at this. What in the hell? Kirk, you got a son, brother. Okay, let's see what we got next. 2024, Ohio State loses to Michigan 13-10. 2025, Ohio State loses to Indiana 13-10. So it is literally the same thing. Okay, cool. Oh yes. Okay, so now we are at Cignetti. That's what I thought. The head coach for said Indiana Hoosiers is Curt Cignetti. And I'm not going to bury the lead on this one. We're going to get right into it because, honestly, I could not do this justice at all until you hear it. A reaction is what's necessary here, not a preface. All right, ready? Here we go.
Are we 10-0?
You are 10-0 for the first time in program history, Coach.
Not bad. There's a lot of skeptics. There's a lot of doubters. I get it, right? Haven't beat a top 25 team. Nebraska's 25th, and the coach poll we beat their 56-7.
How are we not right now seeded for a home game?
Yeah, it's pretty simple. I win. Google me.
126 years of Indiana football. Best season in Indiana history. Number 1 out of 126.
We got our way of doing things, and, we kick ass and take names.
We figured we'd just adopt SEC scheduling philosophy. Some people don't like it. I'm more focused in on those 9 conference games.
We had to wake some people up and create some excitement, and after all, this is the entertainment business, too. We don't just beat top 25 teams, we beat the shit out of them. I know you guys have been waiting for me to say something crazy. That wasn't quite crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. Let's see. Wait, hold on 1 second. You really got to be, precise with these. It's a lot of hard work. I mean, we're working the minds out here. Okay, ready? Volume on, step 1. Then we hit play. I've never seen that. That's insane. He does. I thought that too. Whenever we were watching it, that he looks pissed off. He didn't look really pissed off to me though. I will say, just straight up, I would assume that the message afterwards was that you're probably gonna have to play this team again to get to the national championship or to win the national championship, and that this is far from the end of the road. Unfortunately, because of the format that we have, the championships don't mean shit if you win them, but they win a whole lot, or they mean a whole lot if you lose them, unless you're Alabama, which we'll get to. But it really is not close to every game that they're going to play from here on out is a bigger game than this game, in my opinion. I don't know how the Indiana fan base feels about it because a Big Ten championship is a big deal. If Tennessee won the SEC championship, I'll be very excited about it. But if they went on to lose in the first or really lose at all in the playoff, and if there was a hypothetical where they, had that reversed and they won the championship but lost the SEC championship, I would not care, personally. But he does look, I would say, not thrilled. But I don't think he's upset. I just think he may be holding back, emotion of some kind. And I think he's also getting ready to deliver a message to a team that the job's not finished. Greatest coaches in college football history: Nick Saban, Curt Cignetti, no, Corey Wargo. I don't know. I mean, that looks like just a general college football page, right? So maybe he's not joking. But okay, ain't that serious. Curt Cignetti took over the losingest program in FBS history. He has since gone 23-2 overall, Big Ten champions, back-to-back college football playoff berths. I don't care how many times I say it. This is one of the best college football stories we've ever seen. No, it absolutely is. I'm not gonna lie to you. Wait, that's actually insane. 23-2 overall since he took over. Really? That's insane. Oh, also first 13-0 season ever. Here we go. Sports reference. Yeah, he's only been there for 2 years. What the fuck? I'm absolutely shook by this. This man is 24-2 with 2 college football playoff berths, a Big Ten championship, a win over Ohio State, an AP high ranking of 5 in his first season and 1 in his second season. What is happening? That is absolutely unbelievable. What the hell we got here? If we're playing good in the first half, is how this starts out, because I cannot seem to get it to start at the correct time. If we're playing good in the first half, oh my God, I forgot to turn the volume on. Ugh. We may need a bit of an improvement to this process.
Okay, and we go in at halftime. When I talk I'm going to be very calm and reassuring and settle everybody down. I'm not going to go in there yelling and screaming okay? Now, we go in there with a lead, and this and that. Say a pretty big lead. I'm going to be on their asses.
In what way?
Because because let down. This is what we want to do. This is who we say we are.
So even if you're up by 3 points at halftime, you're going to be...
We're playing it like it's nothing, with an attitude and an edge.
Is that the same way?
And one thing I'll do is I'll stalk the sideline when we get a lead. I see people, I can feel the letdown. I can feel it on the headset with the coaches by the way they talk, the way they communicate, how quickly they get the information in. I can see it on the sideline. Boom. One of the things I had to do here early on is there's people having conversations on the sideline, non-football people on the sideline. I'm jumping on. I'm not going to mention names, but man, we're playing a game. You're locked in the game. You may not be a coach, but you're locked in on what's going on.
Yeah, cursing Nettie, dog, confirmed. We already went through the Mendoza interview, but we are going to talk about Mendoza a little bit more here. I haven't even looked at this. I can't possibly imagine what the context is for this. This is my exact reaction to, wait, no pause? Question mark? What'd you get to say, Mendoza? That was a great hit, and Curry is a great player. Wait, did I have? Okay, wait, no, you, pause. Probably why that shit's freezing. Okay, let's see. Is there please beat the clip. Okay, he cracked me bad. Nope. What a crazy thing to say. So here's the hit.
Curry right here.
Boom. Oh, son.
And right in that right shoulder. Man,
oh, that is a...
Ohio State defense.
Boy, he lit that kid up. My God. And that's the face of a man who knows it's coming to. Pause.
Physical last week. And good thing for IU, Mendoza.
Oh, that was right at the beginning of the game, too. Good for him.
Off the field.
Let's see it. Let's see it one more time.
Pocket. Watch Curry right here. Totally legal hit. Hits him bad. Like no pause.
Now let's see what Mendoza has to say about it.
Hit, and he cracked me. Bad. Like no pause.
Well, he probably meant like... Get out of my face. It's not the time. What could he have meant by that, do you think? Look at AJ. He knows.
And it was tough.
At that point, I didn't even see him. And all of a sudden, it's like I got hit by a freight train with no brakes. I'm on the floor. I'm like, damn, did I break a rib or something? And then I just realized my air just had gone.
I love the fucking view of AJ Hawk through this whole thing. That's great. That's not me, by the way. That's the post itself.
Out. My chest is in pain a little bit, but, I was always going to go back in the game. It was great to see Alberto in there for a play, doing his thing, operating the huddle. But no matter what.
Look, college football U. Shout out to you guys. We love you. But what the fuck am I looking at?
I would literally need to be dead.
Although AJ Hawk is a funny look. He's a funny guy to look at.
Brom to pull me off.
We love that. It was the...
Great shot, great hit. And he cracked me. Bad. Like no pause.
Man. Look at something a little bit more wholesome from Mr. Mendoza, Indiana QB Fernando Mendoza's mother and best friend, Elsa Mendoza, lives with multiple sclerosis and says it inspires him to give up in anything he does. To be clear, his mother does not inspire him to give up. His mother inspires him not to give up. I completely ruined that moment. Let's just go to the next slide.
Charity work, and I would say that I believe that's a big part of it, is giving back. And so, for those who don't know, my mom who's my best friend, inspiration. She has multiple sclerosis, which essentially it's a nervous system disease, which essentially kind of paralyzes the body a little bit. And so, at this point, she's a tough time, moving around and stuff like that. But her happiness, her joy, and her determination is what inspires me every single day, and that's what pushes me. I love charity work, and I would say that I believe, if I'm gonna work out, I'm feeling tired, and a little thought in my mind is like, oh, maybe you should just skip out on this set or something like that. But my mom is out here every single day putting a ton of work, a ton of dedication, and still with a great attitude, and a great positive attitude in everything that she does. So this past year, I was able to partner with a burrito shop in Berkeley. And it was pretty funny because it was like just a cool, I know Kelly's a great business school here. It was kind of a little bit of like a business deal per se that we kind of walked in, cold pitched it, and they agreed. And I'm forever grateful. And we created this thing called the Mendoza Burrito, which all the proceeds go to the National MS Society.
Yeah, that's terrific.
You know, if I'm going to work out.
How proud of you?
That's amazing. By the way, just side note, that is amazing. The Mendoza Burrito.
See him win a Big Ten championship.
Oh, I'm so proud. So happy. He deserves it all.
I know he's worked so hard. I know you mean a lot to him as well. He talks about he goes out and plays for you. But to see him, you know, you have goals, but to see him truly accomplish that, what does that take you to?
Oh, it makes me so proud. He's worked so hard. He deserves it all. He has worked so hard and doesn't give up. And he does it for his teammates, his coaches, the fans. He does it for everyone, for the love of the game, which is what makes him spectacular.
With that, Indiana ends the season as the number one team in the country. What the fuck? I'm okay. So we've talked about this many times. I seriously try not to look at these posts until I'm in here with you guys. First round bye, Ohio State? Am I missing something? I'm not even kidding. So Indiana and Ohio State both got a bye, and Ohio State is the number 2 team. What is Okay. What is going on right now? So let me get this straight. Indiana beats Ohio State as the number 2 team. They go to 1, Ohio State goes to 2, and then Georgia beats Alabama, and they stay at number 9. And both Indiana and Ohio State got a bye? How is that even possible? Okay. This shit is beyond broken. James Madison against Oregon. Can't wait to see that. The problem with this is fundamentally college football is not the same as the NFL. The NFL is made for parity. So once you get into the NFL, so once you get into the playoffs, you have the best of the best of the best. But like generally speaking, most teams are like kind of at the same level. So you can have teams like Aaron Rodgers' Packers team that goes on a run from the wild card spot. It doesn't happen super often. But in college, it's just not the same way. Like the talent is so skewed to one side of the scale. Like it's just not going to happen. So JMU against Oregon. I wonder what's going to happen there. I actually don't know what the over-under is, or the spread, excuse me, but take it. Take the over for Oregon. Alabama, Oklahoma. Literally saw that earlier in the year. Let's look up how that went real quick, just out of curiosity. 23-21 Oklahoma. I mean, they are the 8 and 9 seeds, so they're pretty similar to each other, I suppose, and that score does show that. But yeah, Alabama gets in at coming into the weekend being. Now, look, again, Alabama didn't have the problem that literally every other team other than Ohio State, so Alabama and Ohio State, but Ohio State was the number 1 team in the country. They're obviously not going to drop all the way out of 12. But every other conference champion loser did not get in, other than Alabama and Ohio State, who came into the weekend as the number 1 seed. Alabama came into the weekend as the number 9 seed. So, take Ohio State out of it, who came in as the number 1 seed. They didn't get blown out. Even if they did, they probably still would have made it regardless. Alabama comes into the weekend number 9. And what was the score? Alabama versus Georgia. Oh my God. I did not realize that was the final score. 28-7 was the final score. My God. I mean, I bet on that game and won money on that game and bet on Georgia, obviously. But I think I had them 7.5 or 9.5, maybe something like that. But I did not even realize. Once I felt like it was in hand, I didn't check back on it. Did not realize that was 28-7. 28-7, and you keep them at number 9, the exact same spot they were in. That is bullshit. Number 11, Tulane versus Ole Miss. See, this is okay. Another weird thing about this, right? Ole Miss loses their head coach. They are allowed to account for that. What's his name? Jordan Travis from Florida State a few years ago. Florida State literally finished the season 12-0, did not make the playoff because they dropped them right out of it because they knew they don't have their quarterback. And they lost their bowl game, I'm pretty sure. Okay, yes. So, yes, I was right. They won the ACC as well, and then they played Georgia, where they were defeated 63-3. So you can definitely account for, and rightfully so, it seems, for missing personnel. So we'll see how that one goes. That's probably the most ripe for an upset, if I had to guess. Oh, and then we got this. Miami and fucking Texas A&M. That's honestly beautiful. I love that they barely got in. And then they're going to have to play Texas A&M, who happen to have just lost a rivalry game, and so they're underrated, underranked. I would also go Texas A&M there. I bet the line on that is pretty interesting. And then you got your buys, as we talked about earlier, Texas Tech, who I'm super impressed with. Texas Tech, you just drill into that oil money, sign you some players off the free market, and look at that. You get a buy. Then you got Indiana, Georgia, and Ohio State. I was about to say that I hate to say it, but I just don't know how Indiana continues doing what they're doing with the lack of talent that they have on their roster. But, I mean, if they play Alabama or Oklahoma, I feel like they would win. I think it would be very interesting to see Indiana against Texas Tech or Oregon in this round. And, man, this is a brutal kind of system in this way as well. Like, first of all, super downstream effect. You have college players playing a lot more games against better competition. They're going to break down to the NFL sooner as well. Just kind of throwing that out there. But Indiana will have to play either Alabama or Oklahoma, probably either Texas Tech or Oregon, and then the winner of that side of the bracket, which could be Ohio State again, could be Georgia, maybe Texas A&M. You definitely earn it if you win the championship under this format. First two out, Notre Dame and BYU, which brings us nicely to our next Stora. I was reading the word era. My bad. The bowl era is officially collapsing. 9 teams have declined going to a bowl so far. Kansas State and Iowa State were fined $500,000 each for declining. Good. Absolutely good. Notre Dame, Kansas State, Iowa State, Florida State, Auburn, UCF, Baylor, and Rutgers have all declined bowl bids. And again, it's a fault of the system. Generally speaking, there's just not really a reason to play in them. There really wasn't a reason to play in them before there was a fucking Pop-Tarts Bowl, as an example. But Notre Dame, considering that they were the first team left out of the bracket, declining their invitation is a little bit different than some of the other ones, although I disagree with every single one of them for the record. For no reason should you decline a bowl game invitation, even though I also hate how many bowl games and stuff like that is. It's extra practice time for your guys. It's a fun experience for them. They get, swag bags with gifts in them and shit like that. It's just, I don't really understand why not. If the individual players want to sit out because of NFL, futures or something like that, then that's on them. But Notre Dame decided that they were withdrawing its name from consideration for a bowl game and will not play again this season. The decision comes after the Fighting Irish did not make the 12-team playoff. I played it in the intro if things went according to plan, but I think it bears repeating. So let's just play my take on Notre Dame. And this point right here, join a conference. We've talked about this before, but let me just nail this point home as well. Notre Dame has a borderline cheating setup with not playing in a conference. The conference alignment that they have is with the ACC, one of the weakest conferences in all of college football. So they play ACC teams as if they're in the ACC, which even if they were in the ACC, that's not like a resume booster. That's a terrible conference. But they're not even in the ACC, so they don't have to play a championship game. They play less games. And that last game, by the way, the conference championship game, is against what would be the other best team in that conference. So if there is a tough game to be played via your conference, even if you have a weaker conference, it would come during that game. So they're playing less games, and they're avoiding possibly the best team that they'll play all year, or a rematch with the team maybe that they played earlier in the season that was the best team that they played all year. So just the way that they have it set up there is made, especially in a playoff system. Are you kidding me? It is made for them to get in every single year. They're basically already in, and as soon as it became a playoff system, it was already like that. They got favoritism in the BCS as well because of the same thing. So, yet again, we strike. Not only... Listen, I pay attention to this shit pretty closely, right? I have never heard a proper amount of shit be given to Notre Dame for what I just described, which ultimately comes down to them being in a conference and that being essentially cheating, because it is. I've never heard it talked about, ever. And much like every other fucking thing that we talk about damn near, it played out. It played out right in front of us. Notre Dame misses and freaks out. Overacts like a crybaby, and everybody is rightfully telling them that it's a problem that they created themselves by wanting special treatment. If I knew that all I had to do was make these videos to, get guys like Brian Kelly out of college football and have Notre Dame properly held accountable for this bullshit. Golly, I would have done it a long time ago. We had one of the most dominant 10-game runs in the history of college football. Can I get a clip? 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 Can I? The 10-game run in question: number 17 USC, number 36 Pitt, number 52 Arkansas, number 54 NC State, number 55 Boise State, number 57 Navy, number 103 Boston College, number 112 Stanford. I didn't realize it was just going to keep getting worse. I thought it was in chronological order. Is it? There's no way, right? No, okay. Anyways, number 120 Syracuse, number 121 Purdue. Hung the banner. Best team against 2-win teams. I miss the days when a snub team would be motivated to dominate its bowl game, prove people wrong, and finish on a good note. Yeah, we don't do that anymore. We don't do that anymore. Just like we don't score. Oh my God. We don't score on the 1-yard line. It's called heart. This generation does not have it. Notre Dame, after they didn't win make the college football playoffs, all the guys turned their jerseys in. They're in Rudy. That's insane. Alabama, JMU, and Tulane should not be in the playoffs over Notre Dame. It's that simple. I probably agree, generally speaking. The format sucks. They're not wrong about that. Notre Dame could easily be ACC champs right now with a home playoff game, but they'd rather be mysterious and different. Exactly. And okay, in case you're not aware of this part of it as well, they are in a conference in 24 other sports, which their AD will gladly tell you about in just a second. 24 other sports. They are in a conference, and it is the ACC. It's one of the weakest fucking conferences, if not the weakest, in all of sports, period. They have some pretty good basketball teams, obviously, with Duke and North Carolina, but yeah, oh my God, that makes no sense. You play them like conference play. You play the basketball teams that are way better than the football teams. You don't play the football teams, and you usually get preferential treatment because of it for some fucking reason. They have their own sports network and everything. Again, this comes down to balance, like most things do, right? They probably should have gotten in as far as which team do I think is a better team, but at the same time, it's a problem that they totally created themselves. And the way that they're reacting over it and acting over it is it's childish. It's ridiculous. It's childish. The Notre Dame. I don't know where the Notre Dame Cryin Irish. I mean, that is what is happening. Imagine being a senior without a future in the NFL and learning out of nowhere that you played your last game ever last week. I didn't even think about that. Just pull the rug out from like most of your players. Imagine being a senior without a future in the NFL, learning out of nowhere that you played your last game ever. Like sometimes you're in that position where you don't know if you're going to get into the playoffs or something, and maybe it was your last game, maybe it wasn't. I mean, I struggle to think of a situation that's like that where, you were afraid of BYU. Wait, what? I don't really get that one at all, but quit when things don't go my way. The new Notre Dame logo just dropped, Cryin Irish. Oh, yeah, there it is, Cryin Irish. I saw it as a comment, to be clear, on a different post, but that's hilarious to have the logo of it as well. Don't know who gets credit, but well done. Yeah, I like this one too. Opt out like a champion today. This is the right use of AI. Also the only use of AI. Play like a champion today. Unless you don't make the playoff, then quit. Take your ball and go home today. That's hilarious. So interesting filter they put on that one. Notre Dame, if they didn't make the playoffs, yeah, we went through that one. That's hilarious. Notre Dame, all those kids play all year long. Oh, fuck Notre Dame, I think is what that pretty sure is whited out. I don't think that's an indention. Notre Dame, all those kids play all year long just to not play a bowl game because they didn't want to make the playoffs. What a waste of time, effort, and money. Yeah, and ultimately, like the bowl games, that's the thing about the bowl games. That's why, again, balance. I hate the way that they're set up to where they don't matter because they should matter, and they do matter because that's kind of like the rewards that you get at the end of the season. 10 other teams did this, by the way. Not the same thing at all. This team barely missed the playoff and is outright saying that because of that, they're taking their ball and going home. It's a completely different thing.
But it's kind of understandable because you understand that Notre Dame is a team built to compete for a championship. But I think maybe the bowl game system is outdated. They need to make an NIT type tournament for football.
Okay, but they also would have gone to one of the bigger bowl games. They're not going to go to the Pop-Tarts Bowl. That's why it's different. And one of the many reasons that it's not different. Need to make an NIT type tournament for football. I don't hate it if you just don't do what they do for the regular playoff, which is include bowl games inside of the playoff as well. So like if you do an NIT tournament that is purely separate and you just eliminate a bunch of bowl games, then that's cool.
But NIL incentivized. And I think what the playoffs should do is because we had the BCS. We admit that was horrible. We had a 14 playoffs. We admit that needed to be expanded. Now we at 12. If you can't get in at 12-man playoffs, that's probably your problem. But we can create a wild card system where maybe we take the 12th seed team and have them play like a team like Notre Dame or whoever this committee selects they feel is a team that should be in the playoffs. and had them duke it out for the last spot. Notre Dame opting out of a bowl game is kind of...
One thing about Notre Dame I think that we can all agree on, though, is that Jeremiah Love is worth whatever you got to do to get him in a dynasty league. Look at this man. Good God Almighty. Look at this plant. Oh, into the spin. That's beautiful. Oh, that's beautiful. I think this is another angle of it we got right here. Oh, that is just... Oh, we got 3 angles on it. We got 3 angles on this one. Making 2 people hit each other is just never going to go... It's never going to be not cool. Is that English? Fuck.
Spin. Here he goes. Jeremiah Love.
I do not trust Notre Dame to not get my shit copyrighted, so I'm going to mute that. But I do want to run that back one more time. Oh, that's that other angle that we saw, too. That was so good. Let's see the broadcast view. Somebody said Reggie Bush vibes. Reggie Bush, but he's fast, dude. You see 7? He broke the angle on 7 like crazy. Reggie Bush vibes is incorrect. The shit comparing fucking Diego Pavia and John Mateer to Johnny Manziel and fucking DJ Lagway to goddamn Tim Tebow and fucking this shit's got to stop. But ADs are now threatening to freeze Notre Dame out of future scheduling. It's all happening because Notre Dame is guaranteed a college football playoff spot next season. Everyone is fed up with Notre Dame. Let's see. Athletic directors are freezing Notre Dame out of future scheduling after learning of Notre Dame's memorandum of understanding that grants the Irish preferential playoff access starting next year. Athletic directors and other leagues are threatening to freeze Notre Dame out of future schedules. What the fuck are you talking about? Can we look this up real quick? Several athletic directors reportedly threatening to freeze them out. Yeah, we said that. Because of a new rule that guarantees them a playoff spot with a top 12 finish in the rankings? Well, first of all, wouldn't they get in with the top 12 finish anyway? But also, that's the craziest shit that I've ever heard, if that's not already the case for everybody else. What the fuck are you talking about? What? Notre Dame AD, I'm trying to find this dude's clip so bad, but come on. But we'll play this one. Hopefully this is look at this. Join a conference or don't lose important matchups. Notice how BYU has dignity and is playing a bowl game. Join a conference. It's just crazy to see because like literally nobody talks about this ever. But
after they were the team that was the first team left out, and the flip with Miami.
Yeah, Reese, very quiet here in South Bend. It wasn't all that long after the announcement was made that Notre Dame would be the first team out of the playoff field that we saw players leaving the football facility. They were hanging their head. They were walking slowly, some of them having phone conversations, but all of them sort of...
Wait till they find out that their season's over. Just because.
In shock and disbelief. And I did talk to Notre Dame athletic director Pete Bavacqua just a few moments ago, and he said that was the overwhelming sentiment in that room. It was intense during the rankings reveal, during the playoff bracket reveal. He said that it was utter disbelief, shock, and sadness. He says this is a team that feels like they had the rug pulled out from underneath them. He said they thought they had won, and they had won convincingly, only to find themselves on the outside.
You literally lost to Miami. And I hate Miami, but yeah.
Looking in. A few more notes from my conversation with...
I hate this fucking entitlement to that. You can't see it on the video. My fucking leg is shaking. Just bouncing up and down right now. Just fucking thinking about this stupid fucking mentality that they have.
Pete, he said Marcus did get up and speak to the team immediately afterward.
What have you heard from the Irish?
Marcus, as we know, so eloquent, often such a great orator. He said that usually he has answers or reasons for why these things happen. He has none, and that was...
My God, chill out. Chill out.
He said he has no answers. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up why Notre Dame is not in this playoff field. I asked...
Brother, you were the head coach of the team at the time and you lost to Miami, right? Like, what the fuck am I...
Have you guys gotten any indication about a bowl appearance, where Notre Dame might be playing next? Maybe something that the players can put their focus on.
He said, oh, we ain't worried about that. We're sending these boys home tonight.
He says they haven't even thought about that. He said they're more concerned about supporting these student athletes as they get over the shock of this announcement.
And then he said, nope.
I don't even know what to say to that. You're more concerned about the support of the student athletes and the shock that they're experiencing right now. So you're going to fucking let them know with your next breath that the season's over as a show of childish resistance to a conference that you chose to be a part of in 24 sports and chose not to be a part of in one sport? Oh my God, that's so infuriating. Marcus Freeman's a great guy, and by all accounts, and is a great coach generally too, but what the fuck are you talking about, brother?
No disrespect to any of the other teams. They are simply frustrated by the process. Why all of a sudden is Notre Dame on the outside looking in when they had been led to believe they would be in? In his opinion, any rankings ahead of the final rankings are a, quote, farce and total waste of time.
Well, I heard the other day that they are supposed to consider each week as a new week, basically. They basically re-rank the teams each week. The previous rankings aren't supposed to have any kind of leeway on their decision. And it clearly doesn't. I mean, I'm not saying, if I was a Notre Dame fan that I wouldn't be upset by being ranked inside and in the bracket each week and then suddenly not being when you didn't lose a game in that time span. I do get that. But yeah, he's not wrong. But duh. And duh. The rankings don't mean anything until this one. They really don't. Brings us into our final big story for the day. The Heisman finalists, Jeremiah Love of Notre Dame being one of them, Fernando Mendoza being another that we talked about earlier in the episode, Julian Sayin that we actually also talked about earlier in the episode from when they played each other over the weekend, and Diego Pavia, who we've talked about at length, but we'll do more so today. Were announced as the finalists. You got Fernando Mendoza, 2,980 passing yards, 33 passing touchdowns, first in the nation, 6 rushing touchdowns, 88.5 QBR, third in the nation. We were talking about Bryce Underwood earlier. Bryce Underwood is a true freshman, which I would give him credit for or not knock him because of if he hadn't said that you will never see a true freshman like what you're about to see from me before his freshman year, which he did. So, okay, well, if we're just going to look at it like normal, he did have 2,200 passing yards, which I did say was decent, but 33 passing touchdowns and 6 rushing touchdowns. That's 39, and you had 14, which is not. So, anyways, Fernando Mendoza's stats in that context actually look pretty damn good. And 39 touchdowns combined is give it to Genty for last year. Oh, I second that, by the way. The main reason why I'm bringing all this up is to say that Fernando Mendoza's stats actually a little bit better than I thought they would be. Let's see. We got a little highlight package for old Mendoza. But while that's playing, my point in bringing up the Heisman finalists, other than just to give you the news of it, since it's a pretty big deal, is to talk about a couple things. A, the Heisman Trophy itself and the MVP of the NFL and most awards like that, if not all of them, NBA MVP as well, are narrative awards, are popularity contests. They are not the best player in the country. If it was, then there would be a different result for those awards almost every single year. See last year, which I actually got the Bills on the Bengals game playing right there at the moment. See last year's MVP in the NFL, which was a popularity contest because Lamar had won it the year before. See Johnny Manziel's second year after he won his Heisman. We talked about that earlier in the year where his stats were actually better. There's a million different examples. It's a popularity contest. At the end of the day, 3,192 passing yards, 27 passing touchdowns, 9 rushing touchdowns, 87.7 QBR. As much as I don't like Diego Pavia, 36 touchdowns and 3,100 yards at Vanderbilt and being the first Heisman finalist from Vanderbilt, I'll take that over, Julian Sayin, for example. I could give a shit about the rest of this. But the only reason Julian Sayin's there is because he's Ohio State's quarterback. There's really no other reason. I mean, if you look at the games that they've played so far, the Indiana game was the most important one, and they lost. So there's really no reason for him to be here. This is like this guy here says, the weakest class that we've seen in a while, which is my other point here. The Heisman Trophy is just not for the best player in the country. It just isn't. The MVP is not for the best player in football. The MVP, by the way, we'll make this case at a separate point whenever that award is finally announced in the NFL, but that should just be a separate award that's only given to quarterbacks. And then there should be another MVP that's given to everybody else. But Diego Pavia is your next one. I'm not going to show that highlight. Jeremiah Love, 1,372 rushing yards, 18 rushing touchdowns, 6.9 yards per rush, 3 receiving touchdowns, so 21 total touchdowns, 1,300 yards. Broke a bunch of records at Notre Dame. I'm glad that this wasn't the same run because, get out of there. See ya. He got a little bit of size on him, too. He's also just kind of like chilling. He's just kind of jogging. Last year in the playoffs, he had a really, really, really great run that was about that far as well. Whenever he was injured, had a knee injury. It was like a 94-yard run or 96, and he just busted it. Overall, I would take Jeremiah Love as far as the best player of the four, and certainly the most NFL ready of the four, or Love splits carries too. Yeah, I would take Jeremiah Love as the best player. Who should win it? I think I mean, honestly, though, Indiana, like, if anything, their success last year hurts them in this regard a little bit. But Indiana and Vanderbilt's quarterbacks being the Heisman Trophy, 2 of the 4 Heisman Trophy finalists. You got Notre Dame running back, very historic. Ohio State quarterback, very historic. Indiana, Vanderbilt. So, listen, I will give it up to both Fernando Mendoza and Diego Pavia separately for taking 2 of the worst programs in college football to such heights where they're even here. But now that I'm thinking about it, Jeremiah Love should win. Sayin is a total, non-factor here. What do we have here? Yeah, we'll get to that in a second. What else do we have? You stop. Sayin's a total non-factor. Jeremiah Love is the best player, but I don't think you can give it to him because he's not a quarterback and his team didn't make the playoffs. Comparatively to these other guys' seasons and what was around them, you probably can't give it to him. I would give it to him, to be clear. I think he's the best player. So best player, Jeremiah Love. Get him the fuck out of here. Comes down to these 2 as to who will win it, though. I think that he should. You want the honest truth? I think that he will. I would not be surprised at all if Pavia sneaks it in there. I really wouldn't be. The first ever even finalist from that school, which, again, it is a narrative-driven award, so that might put him over the edge. Had nothing to do with this play, but it might put him over the edge. I respect Fernando Mendoza's play quite a bit, but I don't think that it's remotely close to, which I hadn't even thought about this, but it's not even remotely close to the competition that Diego Pavia faced. I mean, let's look at these schedules real quick. Indiana schedule, footballs. We got Ohio State in the okay, so Purdue, Wisconsin, Penn State, Maryland, UCLA, Michigan State, Oregon, Iowa. How did he do in the Oregon game? Mendoza, 215, 1-1. Iowa, Illinois, Indiana State, Kennesaw State, Old Dominion. I don't know. Let's look at Vanderbilt real quick. Let's see. And by the way, this is how you know that we come unbiased here, and we just speak strictly ball. Ball don't lie. It just don't lie. And neither do I. Tennessee, Kentucky, Auburn. Are we unranked? Oh, God. We should be. We go. I'm so embarrassed. We lost to them barely. Well, almost lost them as bad as Kentucky. Anyways, they put up 45, 3 straight games, 34 as well. 45 on Tennessee, 45 against Kentucky, 45 against Auburn. They lose to Texas by 3, but they put up 31 there. Missouri, LSU, Alabama, Utah State, Georgia State, South Carolina, Virginia Tech, Charleston State, Georgia, that's too far. So Charleston Southern, excuse me. So a lot better competition, although they didn't win nearly as many games. Obviously, Indiana hasn't lost a game yet. So I wouldn't really be upset with either one of them as far as, again, personally, Jeremiah Love would be my pick. I think that it probably will be Mendoza, but I really wouldn't be surprised at all. Let's see what Johnny Manziel had to say. Johnny Manziel being a sufferer of what we talked about earlier, being a narrative-driven award. We got basic fade routes being called Heisman moments now. I've really seen it all. Congratulations to Indiana, though. That's a hell of a win. You got to think about Johnny Manziel's Heisman Trophy, moment. Much different. So this is, I guess, what they're calling. Yeah, it's a great throw, and it basically did seal the game, to be fair. But to be fair, you also lived off Mike Evans' 50-50 balls in college. No, he did not. No, this is going to rage me the fuck out of me. No, he did not. No, he did not. No, he fucking did not live off of Mike Evans' 50-50 balls. A couple of his best plays, I will say, were from that. But you just ran around and had Mike Evans. You'll be there next week to congratulate him there, though. Oh, my God. Okay. The truth of the matter is that was their first year, Texas A&M's first year in the SEC. His first game was against Florida. It's so fucking not true. There was the amount of talent discrepancy and or the talent mismatch that Johnny Manziel faced every time that he walked on the field every single week, both years that he was there, was crazy. And apparently, because he had Mike Evans, one guy that he fucking people, man. Come on. LOL, dude, he had a ton of moments this year. No, he didn't. Guy who won a Heisman off Mike Evans' merchantry wants to talk about what's basic. Oh, Oh my God. Okay. Yeah, that's enough for today. We're no, I'm done. Okay, let's do the wrap up, shall we? We're gonna close out with a handful of interesting stories that we're not gonna do a super deep dive on. But before we do that, I would like to ask one more time that you do subscribe to the channel, if you would. We are pushing we're probably over an hour on this video, which is insane. But I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. I've had a lot of fun doing this so far. Please hit subscribe if you would. Please share it with somebody that you think may enjoy it, and please comment below anything and everything that you have had a thought about in this video, especially if you're still watching. What do you think about Notre Dame being left out, etc., etc., etc.? The Heisman finalists, Mendoza, all of it, right? Cursing Natty, whatever you want to comment, please comment something engaging with the channel on this platform and all platforms, but engaging with the channel here on YouTube is more helpful than you could possibly imagine. We are on the road to our first 100 subscribers, which is crazy because the watch time and the views on the channel are far exceeding the subscribers, which is normal statistically, as we talked about several times, but we definitely want to get those numbers up because we are absolutely killing it in every other way. So please consider subscribing, especially if you're still here at this point in the video. You had to have liked enough of it to want to come back for the next episode. But moving through these stories quickly before my camera dies, Jacob Rodriguez has forced more turnovers than 5 AP top 10s. This is a man who I know should have been a Heisman finalist, by the way, and they've done 5 before. I really have no idea why he didn't get invited. Forced turnovers in the AP top 10. These are like top 10 teams in the country, like top 10 football teams. Yeah. Number 8, Georgia, this is the top 10. Sorry. Georgia has 8 turnovers. That's crazy. 8 turnovers, 9 turnovers, 9, 10, 11, 13 for Jacob Rodriguez by himself. Texas Tech has 25 turnovers. That's insane. This kid, I think, got hurt in their championship game, but I believe he made a play before he even got hurt. Oh, no. Wait, this was him then. I think there's another kid on their team that's really fucking good too, that came in for him because I thought he got hurt at some point. But regardless, this dude is disgusting. He definitely should have been in New York for sure. BYU's quarterback, by the way, I'm going to replay this one more time. Where's number 47? What did you think was going to happen when you... Oh, this is way early in the year. What the hell am I talking about? But yeah, BYU's quarterback was number 47. That's fucking crazy. Next, we have Tennessee... Liberty Bibberty. Listen, I've done entire videos about the state of the Tennessee program, but I want to bring something up real quick. You know, everybody has been talking about so far, whenever I've been saying this, is the people that are pushing back on it, that you can't fire Josh Heupel. You can't. Don't you remember? Don't you remember where we were at before? You don't want to go back there. We have to give this guy a lifetime contract, is what I was told. A lifetime contract. Kirk Herbstreit, of all people. My boy, I know I'm on your ass for saying that, but you, like, what are we talking about? A lifetime contract is what I was told we needed to give Heupel for our one playoff appearance and the Hendon Hooker year. Yeah. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? Or I don't know. I must be tripping because I'm pretty sure, what is that we got there? 2016? Huh. Tennessee. Interesting. Oh, 2021? Tennessee? Huh. Well, that can't be right. Josh Heupel's first year? And what? 1, 2, 3, 4 years before that? Right? Actually, honest to God, it feels like we play in that bowl a lot more than we have. But the point being is, let's just focus on this here. Yeah? 2016, 2010, 2016, the worst period of Tennessee football, right in the smack middle of it, especially 2010. But 2010, Music City Bowl, 2016, Music City Bowl. 4 years later, Josh Heupel's first year, Music City Bowl. 4 years after that, Music City Bowl? That's a bit odd, don't you think? What I will give Josh Heupel credit for is that they had to fire our defensive coordinator. I want you to put the word out that we back up. That's fine. Bro, Ron Slay, they overused the fuck out of that. But Tennessee has fired defensive coordinator Tim Banks. Duh. Pretty sure I have a post, and I do, from Greg McElroy real quick, because this shit is fucking ridiculous, dog. Let me just pull this up for you. Is it a video? No. Which Greg McElroy is not happy about. First of all, Greg knows the chair he likes. That's so funny in so many ways. If you know, you know. Which no one watching this will. But that's crazy, actually, that I just ran into that. That's a client of mine in my videography business, or a former client, one of my first clients ever. If you're watching this for some reason, Jeff, what's up, dude? Hell of a comment there. Oh, Lord have mercy. But anyways, yeah, I'm disappointed for him because I think he's a good coach. I think the expectations got a little high for Tennessee's defense with the style of offense that they play. Wonder if that uniform's got anything to do with his dumbass take that he has there. I've got one more video for you to show you to close us out and send us off as I always do. But one other story I wanted to comment on real quick here at the end. 2 weeks ago, it's from, but Smokey 11, I believe, is what XI is. Smokey 11 is immediately retiring from official mascot duties. Smokey had been in training for the past 2 years, but his reserve temperament affected his comfort in public outings. In training for the past 2 years. I don't really know what that means. What's he gonna be? Rest now, brother. We have the watch, and I will see you in Valhalla. That's Cash Patel.
To my friend Charlie Kirk. Rest now, brother. We have the watch. And I'll see you in Valhalla.
Oh my God, that's so hilarious. Yeah, I'm really a little bit unclear here. I can't get it. That's hilarious. Had the tools to be an all-time mascot, just couldn't handle all the pressure that comes with this position. I wish I well. I don't blame him. This season took the fire out from underneath me as well. Golly. Smoke said, I'm tired of losing. This ain't it. Oh my Lord. That was so much funnier than I thought that it would be. I'm a little unclear on if he was the mascot for a while and now he's not, or if he was gonna be. But Jose, go away. But Jose, go away. This has been a long video. I'm going to get out of here. Smokey been in training for 2 years. I don't know if he was going to be the mascot and now he's not, or if he was and now he's not. I'm not exactly sure. Edo, take us away. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. Please do so. Yeah, I have to say something about that. Please do. It helps. But more than anything, please subscribe. And I'm going to get out of here. We'll see you guys next time.
All know that SEC was NIL before NIL.
Hey, yo.
I love that laugh.
Look at
Hey, we're way past it. Can we now just admit it?
It's all good. Hey, you know what? I say, hey, coach, you've been out of coaching for a while. And how do you going to adjust that NIL? So, well, it's a minor adjustment. And they said, what do you mean? I said, back then, we used to walk through the back door of the cash. Now we just got to walk through the front door of the cash.
Hell yeah, brother.